When you're planning on publishing your first book, one question always comes to mind. What format should I concentrate on? Should I focus on Kindle, where readers can download it instantly and you can earn up to 70% royalties? Should you offer paperback, the classic choice that makes your book feel real? Or should you go hardcover, the premium edition that offers prestige at slightly higher costs? When I first launched my books, I was wrestling with this constantly. I wanted to give readers options. I wanted to get as much into the market as possible, but I didn't want to waste time on producing formats that nobody really cared about or wanted to read. The truth, as I discovered, is that each format has its own psychology, its own sales quirks, and its own roles in your strategy. So let's break it down. So let's start with Kindle. Because for most of us indie authors, that is the backbone of everything publishing. The advantages of Kindle. First of all, the reach is global. Your book is instantly available. No printing, no shipping. Then there's the high royalties. Priced between $2.99 and $9.99, and you can earn 70%. That alone is a much higher margin than print. Plus, if you enroll in KDP, you also have access to Kindle Unlimited as well. Kindle Unlimited is where readers essentially borrow your book and you get paid per page read. For many indie authors, KU income is massive. And of course, there's instant delivery. A reader can buy your book at 11 p.m. and be reading it by 11:01. But there are some challenges to Kindle as well. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's a perceived value issue. See, many readers expect ebooks to be cheap or even free. Pricing too high can scare a lot of people off. But then there's discoverability as well. With millions of Kindle titles, you need strong metadata and a strong hook to get your book noticed. And finally, there's the no physical presence. Some readers love the feel of an actual book rather than holding a Kindle. With One Epic Year, Kindle really was my entry point. I priced it at $9.99, which sounds high, but it worked because it's a long trilogy and KU readers can binge it without worrying about the cost. Page reads actually became a steady income for me, even when direct sales slowed down. The lesson that I learned was that Kindle is where the volume comes from, but you need to price smartly and lean on Kindle Unlimited if you're going to go exclusive. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of paperbacks and the money that they can make, if you're finding this video useful, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more no shit advice about self-publishing, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss when the next video comes out. Now, the classic bestseller, paperback. If Kindle is the workhorse, paperback is the heart. You see, readers still love holding a paperback in their hands or keeping it on their shelves. The advantages of paperbacks are the feeling of legitimacy. For many people, a book doesn't feel real until it's actually printed. And they're also, a lot of the time, the go-to gift format. The pricing sweet spot is a lot easier to find as well, because most indie paperbacks price themselves for around $9.99 to $14.99, which is a comfortable range for most paperbacks, be it self-published or traditional published. Plus, you get that access to wider range of readers who simply just refuse to go digital. The challenges of paperback, though, are lower margins. You earn 60% minus the printing costs. A 400-page novel might cost between £5 and £6 to print, and that cuts into your profits. You've also got shipping delays and design complexity as well, because now you've also got to design the spine and the back of the book as well. And you now got to think about how are you going to make that look professional? My paperback experience is paperbacks became my anchor. At $14.99, they looked and felt like traditional trade paperbacks and boosted my credibility. My royalties were lower than Kindle, but they did build trust. So now we've got the prestige of paperback. Hardcovers are the premium option. They look good, they feel weighty, but for indies, they can be tricky to navigate. The advantages of a hardcover is the perceived value is high. Readers expect to pay more, usually between $19.99 and $24.99. They are the default gift book, and simply put, they make you look serious as an author. They bring prestige, but there are challenges as well. The printing costs are a lot higher. For a 400-page book, you're looking at between £8 and £10. And the sales for hard book covers are usually a lot slower because many readers won't pay a premium unless you're already established. So my experience with hardcovers is when I launched book one, I did all three and I wasn't expecting anything to come of hardback. But to my surprise, my earliest sales were hardcover. A handful of readers wanted the premium feel of that book. They didn't outsell the others, but psychologically, the impact was massive. You see, readers saw me offer all three formats and just thought that I was a proper author. The credibility alone was worth the effort. As a little side note, I also got hardback copies of my book and I took them everywhere to get pictures of them for Instagram and various other promotional things that I was doing, and it just added a bit more prestige to the marketing at the end of it rather than a screenshot of a Kindle cover or something like that. So which format sells best? That's the big question, isn't it? And this answer is going to piss you off because it depends. From what I've seen and from my own experience, Kindle normally dominates in raw numbers, especially if you're with Kindle Unlimited as well. However, paperbacks can actually outsell Kindle in certain genres like non-fiction, romance, or YA. Hardcovers tend to sell the fewest, but they do offer the highest revenue per unit. For one epic year, the breakdown for the first month was around 60% on Kindle, 30% paperback, and about 10% on hardcover. But obviously that shifts over time, so don't use that as a hard and fast rule. So the psychology of the formats. Beyond the numbers, think about reader psychology. For impulse buys, Kindle wins. A reader sees an ad, clicks, downloads, reads. There's no friction there. For credibility, paperback wins. Readers show them off, feature them on their BookTok or Bookstagram feeds, and the legitimacy is there. For status, hardcovers win. They're keepsakes. By offering all three, you're actually covering every single reader motivation. I actually know someone who will read anywhere and everywhere on their Kindle. But if they really like the book, they will go out and buy a paperback or a hardcover version, depending on what's available and frankly, how much they like the book in the first place. So even readers don't tie themselves down to any one particular format. So the smart strategy. So what's the strategy for a self-published author? Always publish in the Kindle edition. That's your entry point. Pair it with a paperback to signal legitimacy. Add a hardcover if your book has a premium feel to it. Price them strategically. Kindle should be competitive. Paperbacks more in line with traditional books, and hardcovers premium but not outrageous. Use each format in your marketing. Kindle for promos, paperbacks for photos, hardcovers for that prestige factor. Or do what I did and combine the last two. Looking back at my trilogy launch, this is what I've learned. Offering all three gave me massive flexibility. The readers actually surprised me. I expected paperbacks to dominate, but my first sales were hardcovers, and I expected Kindle to be the easiest, but Kindle Unlimited became the real star. One of the biggest perks of KDP is getting your books into Kindle Unlimited. It's essentially Netflix for books. Readers pay a monthly sub and they can read as much as they want. As an author, you don't get a flat fee, but this was massive for my growth. So paperback versus Kindle versus hardcover, which one sells best? If we're talking pure numbers, Kindle wins. If we're talking cultural weight, paperback reigns. If we're talking prestige, hardcover takes the crown. But the real secret is you don't have to choose. Nowadays, KDP makes it possible to publish in all three formats with no upfront costs. The smart move isn't picking a single winner, it's using each format strategically and letting them work together. At the end of the day, psychologically, readers don't think about which format is best. They just want your story, and your book deserves a lot better than being stuck in one format, and so do you. I'll see you in the next one.